Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Odin Sphere Leifthrasir, the HD remake of Odin Sphere from the PlayStation 2. And it actually is a remake. They include a classic mode, which lets you play the original game with the HD assets, which is actually kind of neat. I went and checked it out for about 10 minutes, but trust me, it does not feel like a modern day vanillaware game at all. But, you know, when you're finished with the main Odin Sphere game, this is actually a really nice treat to go check out. So, we will be checking out mainly the remake here, but classic mode is there, and it is actually the PS2 game, and that's actually pretty awesome. But we'll just load directly into my game. As you can see, I've put about 4 hours into it, because Jesus, this game is... well, it's a vanillaware game. What do you want from me? These games are like my crack. But let's just hop into it anyway. I'll be loaded directly into the next level that I have to go into. Unfortunately, I haven't unlocked any of the other characters yet. But notably, I can... brain work with me here. But notably, I can actually show you what the combat of all the other characters looks like, because I did a video on the Odin Sphere Leifthrasir demo, and I'll link that in the description, so you can go look at that if you absolutely want to see that. But this is arguably one of the best parts of the game, where this is where you come to pick whatever characters you have unlocked, and I'm pretty sure the game makes you play through the entirety of Gwendolyn's story before you can play anyone else. But at the same time, this is still arguably the best character selection screen there's ever been in a video game. So, you pick up the book and you go sit down to read it, but you can also pick up the cat. It's... do I have to say anything? This is the cutest, most adorable thing ever. And if you sit down with the cat, it actually offers to let you view the story archive. It's so lovely. So this is the story archive, and I bring this up because it's probably worth mentioning once or twice, but as we can see here, the game's story is actually pretty damn long. I've got a ton of stuff left to do with just Gwendolyn alone, and then I have to go through with all other 4 characters. I'm hoping that all the other characters get unlocked at some point so I don't have to go through all their campaigns linearly, but then again, to be fair, that wouldn't be too big of a deal, so, you know. But yeah, as you can see, there's an absolute ton of story content to be had here. As I said before, I'm about 4 hours in, and I'm just barely getting to the end of Gwendolyn's campaign, so 20 hours for the whole game at the very least. Doesn't sound like too much of an ask. But anyway, let's let Socrates go, because he's adorable, and no cat should be anything less than wild and free, but we'll pick up the Valkyrie book and sit down and read it, and this should let us load straight into the level that I was just in. Indeed it does. The game's loading times are actually remarkably short. But anyway, let's have a bit of a look at the menus before we move on, since I haven't spent too much time on them yet. So if we hit start, we can have a look at our skills. You get cipher points, which are those purple Phozon points, I should say, by defeating enemies and absorbing magical butterflies. It makes sense in context. And you can use them to power up abilities you unlock throughout the game. Some are active, some are passive. And as you can see, I've massively leveled up my passive skills and not so much my active skills. But it's probably actually worth upgrading one of these. You can also use Phozons to grow plants, and I will show that off momentarily because I can. You also have ability points, which you gain by leveling up. You get 1 every time you level up, and you can, as you can see, you can just unlock all sorts of different things. So, it's well worth having a quick look through this and just seeing what abilities you want to get. Increase damage of aerial attacks by 10%, don't mind if I do. The abilities you get just by going down the tree, as you would expect. The cipher skills you get via finding their gems in the world. So you have to go and find them actively as you're wandering around the place. As you can see, I've unlocked the majority of them, so I'm actually doing alright. Some of them are hidden, but yeah, you do have to... most of them you will get just by playing the game. So we will just leave this menu. You can get equipment, as you might expect from a vanilla game. You've got 3 slots, and any item you can put in here can do any one of a set of specific things. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of different abilities locked on here. Kind of nice, really. It lets you determine your playstyle just a little bit. You can retry battles. You can automatically go back to the main menu. You can see what you've obtained from the story and from all sorts of different things like recipes. So if I come to the recipes here, you can actually get recipes for the traveling cook, who I'll be showing off shortly. And you can also see the story scenes. So I might actually go and show one of these just in case I don't run into any one of them. Let me just see if I can find a decent one. Alright. Let's play this scene. It's alright because I've saved my game recently, but you'll be able to see a little bit of an example of the voice acting here.
Father, that girl, Velvet, is she someone special to you, Father?
She resembles the princess I once loved. To lose her again, now. Gwendolyn, please leave me. I do not wish you to see me like this.
My mother and sister devoted their lives to the king. I never heard him devote so many words of affection to me, ever.
If you leave her, she will be executed. That will make you the king's only surviving daughter. You will no longer have to compete for his love.
True. If only she were gone. But if she dies, Father will suffer even more.
Are you saying you will save her? This girl who cares nothing for you? If you do, you are committing treason. You will no longer be welcome here. Will you persist in this folly? There will be no way to redeem yourself. How can you willingly choose to walk the path to your own death?
So that was just a quick example of the story. The dub itself is fine. Like, I've got no problems with it whatsoever. I haven't even tried the Japanese, if you want me to be honest, but there is the Japanese voice acting. It is here. So if we go and have a look in the options, we can see our game settings. I've got it on hard. I've had it on hard since the beginning, and surprisingly enough, it's actually kind of easy. I mean, apparently, I'm either really good at these games, or they've toned them down a bit since Muramasa. Who would know? But anyway, you can also set your initial mix category, what the messages look like. There's a bunch of different options here. You can just pass through floors by just pressing down instead of pressing down and X. You can turn on a simple map display, and there's your voice language option. You can change the majority of your buttons. It's not as, what's the word I'm looking for, diverse as previous games. Like, I would have loved an ability to, oh, where did that come from? I don't remember seeing that when I was playing around, but, huh. Okay, never mind, but let's just put that back to how it previously was. So, there we go. But yeah, you can change your controls very thoroughly, and thankfully you only move, well, you can choose to move around with only the D-pad or the analog stick, but if both of yours work fine, unlike mine, you can actually set multiple abilities to work on the D-pad and on the joystick by themselves, which is actually quite nice. So, you can also turn off pretty much everything, which is kind of nice. So, there you go. And if we go to system, you can save and load at pretty much any time, so it's kind of convenient. So, let's go. I'll show off everything else in a little bit. I probably should go and do some combat first. But anyway, here we go. So, here's the main idea of Odin Sphere combat. You've got one major attack button, which is the square button, but you can combine this to make all sorts of different kinds of attacks. So, as you can see, I'm showing off a fair few of them right now. Every character in this game is actually very thoroughly different, and again, if you want to see more of that, go look at my video on the demo. I'll have linked it in the description, and you can just see how everything works, right? Every character also has their own unique abilities. These are managed via 2 unique meters. There's the power meter, which will do physical attacks, and then there's the magic meter, which will handle magic-based attacks. You can have multiple abilities mapped to the circle button, and you can choose how they're mapped. So, you can map buttons to whatever you want, and if you want to activate a specific ability, you can hit the L button, and it'll bring up your entire list, and that's where you go to map stuff. So yeah, as you can see, I got a pretty damn good score, so I get the best end of stage bonus. So I get a couple of seeds, a lot of money, and yeah, you get different stuff depending on how well you're doing in a specific stage. Every stage in this game is circular, so you wander around the... Well, every battle stage in this game is circular for the most part. You wander around the stage in a circle, and you fight enemies in there, and it loops around, and it's perfectly fine, because you can circle all the way around if you need to get the drop on, like, a big boss monster or something. And I will be showing off the big bosses, because the big bosses in this game are the best part of it. But anyway, always worth jumping up to checking areas like that, because they tend to hide secrets from you. You do have a combat ranking system, as I mentioned earlier. Obviously, it's best if you don't get hurt or anything like that. There are massive bonuses for that. There are also bonuses for activating special abilities. I am really badly hurt right now. This is not very good, but we will just stab, 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 and there we go. You do level up, and you do get ability points, as I showed off earlier, to get lots of different tactics on your ow. And you can also guard, but I don't guard. I just dodge everything because I'm just that good. I'm way too used to Dark Souls to block everything now, especially when you have to hold the attack button to dodge. Except you don't have to hold the attack button to dodge, and I'm just an idiot, but, you know, this is just me we're talking about. I tend to miss shit like that on the regular, and it's not very good. So, it's been a couple of combats. Oh yeah, I got a key, so that'll be relatively useful. I imagine that's either for a door or for a treasure chest of some kind. Let's go over things like seeds and alchemy now. So you do have seeds that you can plant in the ground. So I'll plant a napple seed. I'll plant multiple, actually. There we go. I'll plant 2 of them. And if we hold R and press square to release our photons, those will grow those plants. Did I release enough? Nope. There, that should do it. Hopefully. Nope. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now they're fully bloomed. And when they're fully grown, we can grab fruit off them. And fruit can be eaten or used as an ingredient. So, what we'll do is, when that plant dies, there we go. It's quite unfortunate to watch it die, actually, because the art in this game is so lovely. But anyway, we can eat foods and fruit, and we'll get health and experience from them. So this is like a main way for you to gain experience, especially if you visit the Traveling Chef, which I will visit as we can do. You can also use alchemy. So, alchemy lets you merge different ingredients that you're carrying around with you into the pot. And you can either level up the potion and make it stronger, or you can change its ability. So, for example, I can merge equipment that I'm not using into the potion, and it'll actually cause it to be a painkiller. But I can also put other stuff on the end of it here and actually change what its ability is. So I can give it, say, Whirlwind, for example. Or I can put in an onion and make it stun the enemy, illuminate the darkness. Or I can recover HP and get limited invincibility. And you can do all sorts of stuff with this. In fact, there are bones that you can get that will actually create even more different kinds of potions. And you can upgrade previous potions by adding ingredients to them. I'll demonstrate. So if I get the volcano and put in, like, eggs, it'll make it an even stronger version of the same potion. So there's lots of mixing and matching to be done here, and I really shouldn't be without health potions at this point. So I should probably make more of those, because I really do need health potions at this point of the game. So I will do this. Alright, now I have a health potion, and I'll make one more just to be safe, because this is me we're talking about. I don't stand a goddamn chance if I don't have a ton of stuff to heal. unfortunately I can't. There are some ingredients that you can mix that aren't mandragoras, which will let you do that, but yeah. So there is... where should I go next? Alright, I'll go up there. This is probably a trap. Let's see, I have no idea what that is. What's this? Oh, this is probably where the small key comes into play. It's... a recipe! Awesome! So I have a reason to go to the, I have a reason to go to the guy now. The puka chef. Which is actually going to be in the very next room, which is great. This will be a great time to demonstrate, since you just saw that. Hey, a rosemile flower. Rosemile flower, I apologize. I can actually plant seeds next to this, and it'll let out the, phosons required to grow them. So, I will plant a... should I? Yeah, I'll plant a mulberry seed. And I'll take the rest for myself. Because then I can get 2 mulberries out of the deal. Let me show you the Puka Traveling Chef. I don't remember his exact name, but here he is. How awesome is this guy? Maury, that's him.
My secret ingredient is sincerity. This is unbearably hot. A cold meal would be great for here. I see you have a new recipe. Please, allow me. Now then, what do you want to order?
So I can order any food I please. You can get takeout food, which will let you, which basically serves as like potions and something like that. You can also order other foods, which will give you bonus XP. You get bonus XP the more that you what's the word I'm looking for? You get bonus XP for the first 3 times you eat a bit of food. I won't actually eat anything right now because I don't need it. But yeah, that's basically him. And this is the shop guy, and this is your item box. Those are pretty obvious. A checkpoint for warping between areas, but we don't need that either. Let's just go and fight a few more things. So, as you couldn't tell, the fighting in this game, the fighting in this game is absolutely splendid. It's stupidly quick. There's a ton of things you can do to speed it along. Oh, God. I'm probably going to die, aren't I? There's a ton of things you can do to speed it along. There's tons of different abilities. Again, there's 5 different character classes. Unfortunately, you don't get to see them for the... oh, God. You don't get to see them for the first few hours of the game, but they're there, and they're decidedly different. Bang. Oh, shit. Oh, God. I lived with 1 health. Who would have thought? Alright, so what do I get? I get another recipe. Cool. Fish fillet and milk. How am I not dead? I'm guessing the game doesn't let you die to, elemental effects. I'm gonna go back and eat now, because that's probably a really good idea. But yeah, the fighting is fast, it's furious, and it's freaking fantastic. Even with just 1 character with a bunch of different abilities you can learn. See? Bunch of different abilities here, and I'll probably have to use some of them as we move along, but, oh well, I will show you them momentarily. Now you can watch the Puka Chef feed me. Good old Maury. Alright, so I get cream stew now. Probably can't make it, but I'll make me some apple sorbet using the ingredients I have on me. You can actually use stuff you've got in the box, so you can stick the majority of your ingredients in your box, and that'll be fine. But yeah. This is wonderful. This is some of the most pleasant, bloody visual presentation of any game on the Vita. It's wonderful. It's so nice to look at. It's great. See, not only did I level up from that, but I'm halfway to the next level already. So this is a great way to level up halfway through a stage, if you absolutely positively need it. But, yeah. Fantastic. Just, the game's got so much style, grace, and charm, which, to be fair, shouldn't surprise me as much as it does, but then again, it's freaking Vanillaware. Vanillaware are basically gods. Oh, hey, a mid-boss. Oh, God, a mid-boss. Alright, so here's how bosses work in this game. they have a health bar in the bottom left. If you've played Muramasa Rebirth and games like that, you know exactly how this works. But they have a health bar in the bottom left, and they also have a smaller health bar, I should say. And that empties out a tiny bit once you've emptied the big yellow health bar. And it's basically like they've got 4 health bars, right? So whenever you see a boss like this, you're in for a pretty long fight. So it's probably worth showing off how some of the potions work. Some potions are nice. Some potions are very useful. Some potions are freaking deadly. Allow me to show you one of the deadly ones. Ow. I should probably drink this. There we go. And thankfully the bosses do actually drop potions. So if you're looking for a spare healing tonic, they just might drop it, which is actually really nice of them. Oh god, that's a very precise attack. You can actually dodge in midair, which is fantastic, because you just roll around in the air, and it's freaking great. Combat in this game is fun to watch. It's just so full of life and energetic, and the monster designs are just so stylish, and basically everything I'm saying right now could be applied to any freaking Vanillaware game on the face of the earth. Vanillaware have done it again, basically. That's all you need to know. If you have played any Vanillaware game and even had a smattering of liking for them, hearing the words, Vanillaware have done it again, should be more than enough to convince you that this is worth your time. Bang. Should be more than enough to convince you that this is worth your time. I'm going to use this Cyclone Potion now. You can actually mix potions with other potions to make more advanced versions of those potions. It's really neat as well, because the alchemy actually gives you something to do. Like, if you're about to come up against a boss in a fire area, you probably want to get a lot of water-based potions out and ready to use. So, you know, that's just the way this game works, and it's really quite wonderful. Die to my stabs! Admittedly, it does get a bit repetitive. Like, not extremely repetitive, but admittedly, the majority of your attacks are based on the same button. So, that's just generally the way it's going to play out, right? I mean, sure, you can use a ton of abilities to try and keep it going, but most of the abilities that are worth... I want to get out of the way of this. Most of the abilities that are worth using for characters like Gwendolyn are, like, abilities that use her magic meter, and the only way you get magic meter back is by defeating enemies, so that's just generally the way things play out. So you do have to kind of, whoopsie daisy doodly. I'm trying to avoid dying to all the Mandragoras, because, not the Mandragoras, the Salamanders, because the Salamanders are just kind of wrecking my shit right now. I should probably, I'll take this. Thankfully the game does pause when you're going into your, like, potion menu, so you've got plenty of time to think about it. Same with the ability menu, so I can actually do Blinding Light from this menu. Boom. Do I really have to say just how incredible this game is? And the music is fantastic, too. Just have a listen. Freaking glorious is what it is. Oh, by the way, killing the bosses instantly kills pretty much every enemy in the room, so well worth doing ahead of time. Unfortunately, I didn't get an S for that, but thankfully you can actually come back to earlier stages and try them again when you're stronger for higher ranks. So that's well worth doing. I actually got Lobster for beating this level. That's interesting. Shrimp. Oh, looked like a freaking lobster, I'm sorry. There is there's a Mandragora around here somewhere. I heard it while I was fighting. There it is. Oh, hey, I finally get to make, freaking flame potions from scratch now. That's kind of neat. Alright, but now, where am I going next? As you can see, you can have a good old look around the world, and I can't get to the boss because there's a keyhole there. So, you did see a mid-stage boss, but there are big bosses to go fight. So, Excuse me. Let's go fight some level 29s and get my ass handed to me. Hello. But yeah, Odin Sphere, the remake is freaking wonderful. I just gotta say, like, I mean, it's a Vanillaware game, so expecting any less from Vanillaware is like expecting the sun not to rise. You just don't do that shit. Come on, guys. It's freaking incredible, man. It's a Vanillaware game. If Vanillaware's, like, mech game turns out to be terrible, I will be extremely upset, because since when has a Vanillaware game not been good, right? Oh, fire elemental. Shit. Alright, hang on. Better back it up. And just use those to be safe. I cannot praise this game any more than I currently am. There is one problem with it, though. It's tiny, and you basically never notice it unless you're on a really complicated boss. But the game's performance sometimes goes into a toilet. Like, there's a very specific boss that's basically a dwarven airship. There's flamethrowers going constantly. There's fire. A mini-boss shows up. There's just a ton of stuff like that, right? And that can make the game's frame rate drop. And generally, if there's a ton of stuff like that happens, then you're going to have something along the lines of, what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to have a little bit of slowdown happening if that happens, which is a little unfortunate, but at the same time, I'm not honestly too fussed by it. It just, you know, it's just a thing that happens, and frankly, when the rest of the game runs as well as it does anyway, these are actually enemies. I'm being an idiot here. I'm going to eat something. I'll eat this in bulk. Because when... Oh. That's annoying. Generally, when you eat these things in bulk, you eat the whole thing in just, like, one go. But I guess not. Okay, that's a little strange, but oh well. But when the absolute majority of the rest of the game runs as well as it does, it's kind of hard to punish Odin Sphere for slowing down on even, like, the most... On the most huge and effect spammy of the bosses, if you get what I mean. It's like, you know, there are just some things that you can there are some things you can justify. Another mid-boss! Oh my god, this guy looks ridiculous and I love it, but I'm about to die, so I should probably have a healing tonic, why not? And I should get out of the way! Oh god, he's got like permanent guard on or something, this won't be good. And he's got a ton of freaking health. I mean, I am under-leveled for this boss, but jeez. I should probably head in the other direction. Again, you can go back to earlier stages to grind, and if you leave the level and come back, they will, like, respawn the enemies for you, so you can go and get things like renewable resources if you absolutely desire it. Probably not good. Well, I can show off a big boss if I wanted to. I just have to travel back to a previous area, so I could probably do that, actually. I love how in the top right corner there's a mini-map being constantly displayed, and it's basically just a tinier version of the boss fight you're going through now. So you can just make oh god, you can just like fight the boss in its entirety just via that little map there, but it does also let you see attacks that are off screen, so it'd be nice if I had control over the zooming of the camera, and maybe, you know, have the option to have the game zoomed out as much as possible. Oh dear. Yeah, I had a feeling I was going to die there. Thankfully, it's not too far to actually get to a level where hopefully I won't die horribly, but we will see, won't we? You actually got to hit the mandragores to hurt them before you can pick them up. It's actually kind of neat. So what's through here? Is it more level 29s? Level 26. Okay, let's do this. And if I can't get to the final boss of this level without having to, like, go through that level 29 boss, I'll go and... Oh, God. And if I can't do that, I'll go back to one of the previous levels. I'll show off that dwarven airship, now that I think about it, just so you can see just how bad the frame rate drops can get. I mean, again, it's a... What's the word I'm looking for? It's very minor a problem. Like, it's the absolute worst when you're talking about the dwarven airship boss and stuff like that. But, it is still worth mentioning nonetheless. So, we'll just wander around in this direction. And we will see what's in here. It's a treasure chest and a butterfly. And just to be safe, I'll have something to eat before this because these guys... What's the word I'm looking for? They do tend to sneak up on you a little bit. So, yeah, it's well worth stocking up on health before I try and open this crate. So, let's do this. Had a feeling! Hello, salamanders! Die to my stabs. Smack. It's a bunch of free XP. Who's complaining, right? Where do I go from here? Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to be able to get to that other area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip back to the checkpoint. I'm going to return to the world map. I'll show off the Puka cafes. Because they're wonderful. Because why the hell not? The Puka village. Let's do that. Let's head into... Let's head into the Puka kitchen. It's ridiculous. They're all bunny people.
Welcome. What can I get you today?
What can you get me today? You get to go to this shop whenever you like, basically. And you pay for what's here based on the price down the bottom right. There are special coins that you pick up that are only meant for this area. But as you can see, you get a bunch of different food. And you get to sit in this absolutely lovely little atmosphere that they create here. It is wonderful. It is excellent. It is everything you could possibly want in a Vanillaware game. It's just... wow. Anyway, we'll go to Nebulapolis. We can't go to Nebulapolis. Let's go to Chapter 4 and go to Nebulapolis, because you can do that. And I will skip the... I'll skip that. And we can go straight through to the checkpoint here. Since I've unlocked the majority of this level, I can go to the area right before the boss fight. And then I can head... Hello. And I can head straight into the boss fight. So let's do that. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for the sudden jump cut, but I realized that I was walking straight into a boss fight. That was a bit of a spoiler, so I wasn't going to the Dwarven Airship at all. So hopefully, I think I've found the right entrance for the Dwarven Airship. Indeed I have. Let's do this. So, might as well just talk about my overall feelings on the Odin Sphere remake. I love this game to death, but then again, it's a Vanillaware game, so anyone who's surprised by this needs to just, you know, like, watch any of my videos on an Odin Sphere game, on a Vanillaware game. Vanillaware are just the gods of their art. They are just incredible at pretty much anything they set their mind to, as long as it's a scrolling action game, you know? Ow. Freaking lightning bolts. This game is just amazing. Like, no matter what way you put it, it's just... oh, shit. No matter what way you put it, this game is just amazing. And funnily enough, it's probably my least favorite of the Vanillaware titles. But that's purely because of, like, the theme. I honestly just prefer, like, the dungeon crawling fantasy parody, more or less, of Dragon's Crown and the ancient Japan, like, the ancient Japan-ish style of Muramasa Rebirth more than this played straight fantasy style of Odin Sphere, which isn't a bad thing. Like, not a bad thing at all. I just personally prefer something different. That's it. That's literally the only thing I think makes me dislike this game more than your typical Vanillaware game. By dislike, I mean just personally prefer something else. Because the game is just literally that good. This is still a fully recommended buy to pretty much anyone who likes any sort of action game. I'll just have a quick healing tonic. This boss is actually really hard to fight because it has like a dozen different kinds of attacks they can hit you with. They got that flamethrower there that you have to take out the guy who's in it, and it's like, Jesus. Also, level 6 healing tonic. Where the hell did that come from? Ow. But yeah, this is about as bad as the lag gets when it comes to this game. And there are even bigger bosses than this, can you believe? And we're done here. But yeah, again, this boss is level 15 and I'm level 28, so I got through it real quick. I'll just grab all my resources. You cannot carry any more grapeseed. Fantastic. That's actually kind of sad. Let's save the game, and I mean, I don't really know what else to tell you. If you haven't been convinced to buy this game already, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's such a fantastic title. It's absolutely brilliant. It's wonderful. I cannot use any more positive adjectives because I just start repeating myself. You should buy it immediately. Like, it comes out like tomorrow or something. So, yeah. As soon as it comes out, you buy the shit and you love it. Because it is arguably the most adorable thing that's ever existed ever. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.